Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get started. I would like to introduce one of the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce ambassadors, Lisa Humphreys. She owns Studio 8 Fitness, as well as Northern Roots Wellness and Coaching. And she's going to direct us through a few moments so that we become rooted in connection. Lisa?
Thank you, everyone. If I could have you please step up out of your seats, just stand up for me. We have full bellies from just having brunch. So let's stand up. And I want you to just feel your feet connected to the floor. I want you to close your eyes and feel the connection between the soles of your feet through your shoes to the floor. And I want you to take a great big inhale in through your nose. Exhale, let that out. I want you to start to pull the energy from the center of the earth. Feel it come up as you inhale through the soles of your feet, through your legs, your spine, and out through the top of your head, high into the sky, where you choose a star that was meant just for you. And your exhale is going to pull the energy from that star back down through your body, through your spine, through your legs, the soles of the feet, as we send it back down to the center of the earth. And again, we pull that inhale from the center of the earth all the way through your body, your spine, through the top of your head, up to that star that was meant just for you. You exhale, bringing that energy back down through your body to the center of the earth. I want you to take your right hand and place it on the shoulder of the person standing next to you. Keep that breath going. Just lightly place it on the shoulder of the person next to you. And then I want you to take your left hand, and I want you to reach behind you, in front of you, to the side of you, and connect with another person. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. It's like Twister. Pull that breath through the center of the earth, all the way up through your body, through the top of your head, and into the sky to the star that was meant just for you. And your exhale pulls down as you start to feel the energy from the people that you're connected with. In this room right now, we're connected in breath. We're rooted in the energy. We're rooted with each other in a very powerful room. I want you to take one more inhale in, pull from the center of the earth, all the way up into the sky for that star that was made just for you. And exhale as you pull that energy back down. You share it with the group at your table, and you put it down into the center of the earth. Thank you so much. I hope you feel rooted and grounded.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Lisa, thank you so much for helping the energy in this room become connected to one another, because that's really what this day is about, celebrating women in business and being together and empowering each other. This afternoon we have an outstanding keynote speaker for you. She has inherited her mother's passion for antiques and collectibles. Carrie Cuxey, formerly of HGTV's Cash and Kari, began buying, selling, and trading when she was only 12 years old. And today as an entrepreneur, she is still on the lookout for hidden treasures as she travels far and wide in search of anything she can flip, which I understand she is working on a house she's currently flipping until 11 o'clock last night, so there's some truth in this, and restore. Kari will be speaking about entrepreneurship, the importance of having an active role in your community, and staying motivated in your professional life. But before that, I have a list of thank yous to list off. I was writing this out and looking at it and thinking, I've mentioned to many of you that we are a chamber family. But when I see how many people came together to support us being here either as an attendee, as a member of our committee, as vendors, or as sponsors, we are so amazingly blessed. It is such a wonderful, wonderful feeling. So I will start with our vendors. Thank you very much to the Ally Challenge, Anthem Advisors, Beauchamp Water, Beyond Juice and Eatery Clarkston, Bowman Chevrolet, Clarkston Sarasett, Clarkston Cakery, Clarkston Spa, Clothes Boutique, Club Pilates Clarkston, Dermacare MD, the Doshi Candle Company, Edit, Avexia Wellness Spa, Float Clarkston, Forum Health, Haley James Exchange, Heartfelt Impressions, Hotworks Village of Clarkston, Home Pros Guide and Save On, La Fontaine Automotive Group, Lisa Villela Photography, Main Street, Michigan, Northern Capital Insurance Agency Services, LLC, Northern Roots Wellness, Nothing Bundt Cakes, Pretty Hunter, Proforma Team Marketing Solutions, RB&C and Company Boutique, Revive Beauty Studio, Ring True, the Seaver Title Agency and ATA National, The Brokerage Real Estate, Vaughn Chiropractic, Vibe Credit Union, and Medical Spa. And now I would like to thank our Perseverance sponsors, General RV, and if Stephanie Benson from Float Clarkston could come forward, she's going to tell us a little bit about her business.
Can I move this? Okay. So for those that know me, this is not really my thing, but here we are. So I'm still speaking, so that's good. Anxiety has always been something that I've dealt with throughout my life. Most notably in the last few years, I noticed that it was just kind of a thing that I really didn't want to stick around. So long story short, I had a float out in Denver in 2019, and I was like, oh my God, that's what it feels like for my nervous system to like be par. Like, I don't know how you guys do up in this situation, but it can be a lot. I mean, I'm sure the blotches are there and the breathing, but you know what, it's okay. So anyway, so for me, floating really just got me to go in. I had, the picture-perfect family situation from the outside, a corporate job. I was working at Quicken Loans for over 12 years, and I just needed something to change. Like, money in the bank and credit scores don't mean anything if you're not happy. So I took a huge leap. And in Michigan is not very familiar with floating, but we're getting there. We're really trying to make our way through the community as a way to do something for yourself that really is healthy, tons of health benefits, but it's also really good for the community to just come together in something something that's like-minded. So here we are. I quit 2 months after my first float, which is not like me. I'm very calculated and, structured, so I just went all in, and I couldn't be happier. And we've been open for 2.5 years now, and my favorite thing in the world is to make people feel comfortable, because I know how it feels to be uncomfortable, and also knowing not everybody goes home to a calm family environment. So for me, that is a big part of what my mission is. So this might have been the first time that I've ever spoken in front of this many people ever, but it's not going to be my last. So I'm excited. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'd like to also thank our Mimosa Bar sponsor, Beyond Juicery and Eatery, Clarkston. And our dessert sponsor, the beautiful cookies in front of each of you on the table, are provided today by Anthem Advisors Raymond James. And they were made for us by the Clarkston Cakery, so thank you. Now I would like to thank our keynote speaker, LaFontaine Automotive Group. Carol Peters will be speaking.
I think I need the float now. Anyways, good afternoon. I'm Carol Peters with LaFontaine Automotive Group, and we have been a member of the Clarkston Chamber and a sponsor for over 15 years. So I'm also an ambassador, and I sit on the board. So you can see how important the Chamber is to us. So it really warms my heart, puts a smile on my face to see all of you here. So many familiar faces, some new faces, great new vendors, I should say. I have my entire group with me here today, the grassroots group, and it means a lot because we were a vision that Kelly's mother, Maureen LaFontaine, had. And so now we're led by Kelly, and we also have Savannah on board with us. So you can see we have over 400 women in LaFontaine alone, and she has taught us how to empower women. So I thank you all for coming and sharing the event with us.
Next, I'd like to thank our presenting sponsors. First, we have Gina Garavaglia from Bowman Chevrolet.
Fix this up a little bit. Oh, does it move? Okay. I know I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I've also got my tall heels on today, so okay. Good afternoon. Thank you, Jen, and thank you to the Chamber for organizing this great event. It's wonderful to join this fantastic group of female leaders and celebrate together. As mentioned, my name is Gina, and I'm the marketing manager at Bowman Chevrolet. I'm lucky enough to work with some truly inspiring female leaders at Bowman, including President and owner Katie Bowman Coleman and General Manager Rhonda Jensen. But an unfortunate reality is that women continue to be underrepresented in leadership positions, especially in the dealership world, and careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, or also known as STEAM. In fact, women only make up 28% of the workforce in STEAM, and men vastly outnumber women majoring in most STEAM fields in college. The road to success is never easy, and it's no secret we as women face unique challenges in the workplace compared to our male counterparts, which COVID certainly exposed even further. However, I believe that the tide is starting to change. Women are no longer apologizing in the workplace for family obligations or for sitting in the back row. We are seeing more and more women succeed thanks to the support of their peers and younger generations. Women are not only breaking down barriers, but they are also paving the way for future generations. To quote the one and only Beyonce, who run the world? Yeah. Made me lose my spot. I was excited for that response. We see this firsthand as we are now in the 6th year of our annual scholarship program for the Clarkston High School seniors who intend to pursue a career in STEAM. We've just finished reviewing this year's applications, and I am in absolute awe of our future leaders, many of them young women. One of this year's winners not only plans to study neuroscience at U of M, but she is also a National Honor Society member, PTO class representative, a published poet, and a volunteer in the community. Talk about a go-getter, right? Women supporting each other is essential in business and essential in life. It's important more now than ever to lift each other up and help each other succeed. Whether it's through mentoring programs or networking events like this, we can help each other navigate professional challenges, and our support of younger colleagues can make all the difference in someone's career, which I can certainly attest to that. As I touched on, at Bowman Chevy, we recognize the importance of female leadership in the workplace. Women are represented in all areas of our business, from leadership positions to our parts department. We also offer a supportive work environment that encourages everyone to reach their full potential. We're proud to have a team that reflects the communities that we serve. However, we also know that there is still work to be done. Let's continue to support each other and work towards a more inclusive future for us and the young women who will lead us in the future. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing more from Carrie. Thank you.
And our next presenting sponsor is Heather Ubali from Home Pros Guide and Save On.
I don't have anything prepared, so we're going to wing it. Thanks so much. I appreciate this opportunity. Love supporting local. So I'm new to getting involved in the chamber. I've been a native here of Clarkston for over 20 years. Raised my children here, love the area, and know it was time to get more involved in the local community. I'm the president and CEO of Home Pros Guide, Save On. Many of you probably are familiar with the Save On magazine. It's been coming to your mailbox for over 20 years. The business has been in business for over 40 years. And I've had the pleasure of learning the business over time and was able to take over about 3 years ago. So as a woman in leadership and learning, to navigate business, as I was talking with the founder and we were going through our succession planning, he said, "It's time. You got this." Okay, I'm ready. I'm excited. And that was 2019. Okay. We're going to go for it, and I'm so excited. But I have an amazing team full of amazing men and women that help lead the vision. I have the pleasure of, learning every single day. And as women, we don't spend enough time encouraging one another and motivating one another. And so that is one of my heart calls. I'm a woman of faith. And I feel that that's exactly what God is calling me to do. So, love the area of business. A little bit about us. We're a multimedia company. We're print and digital marketing, advertising, helping businesses grow. Again, have been for over 40 years in Metro Detroit. We just recently launched Home Pros Guide, which is delivering in your mailbox, full of great contractors and area businesses that we've been partnered for many, many years. Modernistic carpet cleaning, the Carpet Guys, all the, Rock Solid, all the great names. We also have an auto division that supports local auto dealers and helping their initiatives grow. But we're really, all the way, down to the very micro local business with consideration of budgets and everything else. Is the key idea is to help businesses grow, no matter what size. So just a pleasure to be here, pleasure to support local. Love the community, love to see all the women here. I was giggling and also inspired all the woohoos. I love that. When you're, excited about the business or the business you're with or you're supporting, that's a wonderful thing. Be excited every day, right? We have a choice. It's a choice every day that we get up. We're gonna make it great or not, right? So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm privileged to be here. Love to support women and love to support local. Thank you so much.
And our last presenting sponsor is Northern Capital Insurance Agency Services, LLC, and Lee Peterson will be speaking.
This is an announcement that I am not a public speaker. So, a year ago, I stood here, not a public speaker, and since that time, one of the very most special people in my lives, who was on by FaceTime, my mother, has passed. So, I am definitely the apple that fell not too far from the tree. So my mom is somebody that I fought so hard with her growing up, but we all fight with our mothers, and they get us to where we need to be, and that's what happened. My mom got me to where I needed to be. And she would say, Lee, success is not the result of talent. It's the result of your determination, your effort, and your interest. You have to be interested in what we do, right? And so I was thinking about this morning, and I just can hear her speaking to me right now, and I thought, I'm driving over here, and I thought, we're women in business. What do we all have in common? We get things done, right? We get things done. Yes, we do. And that's what I thought, that's the message that I think we need to, I think we can all come together and agree that we get things done. We work our butts off, and we have obstacles and challenges, and we don't get up here and we don't tell the stories of how bloodied we got, but we all work really, really hard to succeed, and it's because we're determined, and we have interest, and boy, do we put forth the effort. And I know that everyone here can resonate with that. And I am honored to be here, and I am so excited to see everyone here. And my team, Northern Capital, we are a local agency supporting local. I am not from Michigan. I was born and raised in Wisconsin. I am honored to be on the chamber. It's been a pleasure to serve. I'm very fortunate, and I've got my Wonder Women force. My friends that are here, they're not, the ladies that are with me at my table are not, the people that work for me actually just went back to work, and Jacob, sorry, but, I love you, but I'm just saying, but, I surround myself with women who are successful, and everyone here is successful, and we all have a story to tell, and the ladies that are sitting here with me, they're all leaders. Everyone here is a leader in what they do. We don't have to own a business, but we get things done. We manage people. We go through like this war path to get to where we're at, and then, here we are. Here I am standing here speaking in public, and I'm not a public speaker. But I am honored to be surrounded by so many women here that are, I look up to you guys. You're my mentors. I hope that I can be a mentor to any one of you. We can all tell our stories together. We can all learn. We can gain. We can have happy hour together. And, and we'll thrive, and I think this is wonderful, and I hope next year maybe we'll see 600 people. Yeah, who knows? So that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Lee, I hope that everyone follows through on that 600 people next year. That'd be fantastic. Thank you again to all of this year's Women in Business sponsors. Now I would like to thank our Women in Business Committee, Jennifer Barrett with Comerica Bank, Tanya Carson with Clarkston Living, Whitney Finley Shanae, Beyond Juicery and Eatery Clarkston, and Finley Investments, Lisa Humphrey with Studio 8 Fitness and Northern Roots Wellness and Coaching, Carrie Milner, the Milner Agency, Farm Bureau Insurance, Jessica Spencer, Spencer Real Estate, and Beatrice Rivard, 360 Financial Strategies. Ladies, would you please stand to be recognized for your work and dedication? Thank you very much. And thank you to the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Many of them are here today celebrating women in business today. Board Directors, would you please stand and be recognized for your dedication and support as well? Thank you to our ambassadors as well. Many of you are here as well, and some of you are also board directors. If you could stand to be recognized for your hard work. Lastly, I'd like to thank 3 additional ladies who this event would not have come off at all without their hard work, perseverance, dedication, and just jumping in and being willing to do anything at any time, even if it's up hills, in the snow, with your eyes closed. Kendall Petzold, Assistant Executive Director. Kate Masters, Membership Engagement Program Manager. And Megan Messer, Office Assistant. I have such a great team. Literally, this is their doing. I directed and overset, but this is them. So make sure that if you enjoyed this today, you stop them and tell them. So there's just 2 more thank yous, and then we will get to Kari, I promise. The Passive Mission Productions, which is owned by Andrew Baumeister, is in charge of our sound and our stage lighting this year. You may notice that we have some uplighting and colors of the women in business. Thank you, Andrew. And lastly, I'd like to thank all of our members. Again, this is a chamber family, and we all come together to be a part of the event. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the keynote speaker, who I know is why you are here. You want to hear her great words of wisdom. So I welcome Kari Kuxey.
Hello, hello. How is everybody today? Welcome. I'm looking for the handheld mic. Somewhere. There was one. If I can get it at some point. Oh, right here. Just so I have it. We got 100 feet. You can go all over. Beautiful. All right. Test. There we go. Hi. Welcome. So happy to be here. Thanks for sharing your time with me today. I want everybody to stand up because I'm going to get you back into that mode. I believe it was Heather who got us grounded. I loved that. Everybody stand up, and I want you to put your hand on your heart and say your name to yourself and say, I am wonderful. Out loud. I want you to turn around and find somebody that you don't know and introduce yourself to somebody you don't know. Shake their hands. After that, I want you to stay with that person, and I want you to make eye contact with that person. Everybody got eye contact? Ready? I want you to look at that person, and I want you to say, you are amazing. Wonderful. That's it. I wanted to warm you up. And you are amazing, so thank you. Thanks again for being here. How many of you came last year to this event? A lot of you. Fantastic. We do a lot of public events, and for some reason we pull a lot of folks from Clarkston, which is wonderful. We are part of the Clarkston Chamber. But how many of you have actually been into downtown Holly to enjoy what Holly has to offer? A lot of you. Awesome. Very good. Today I'm going to share with you my story, my journey, how I got started, how I attempt to maintain balance in this crazy world and this crazy life. I'm going to give you 10 things to take away from today and hopefully implement right away into your business. But we've been here now 8 years in Holly. It's been a wild ride, and I'll tell you all about that. But it started out, they mentioned my love of antiques, which came from my mother and my grandparents. And I was an entrepreneur, probably started at a very young age. I had a paper route at age 12, so I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I had a spree when I was 12 years old, and I put a milk crate on it and put the newspapers in it and delivered wherever I could. Always looking for a way to make money and connect with people. So it started at a very young age. The love of antiques. My grandfather was the first American picker, as we like to call him. He would bring stuff home, and we would say, "Well, Grandpa, what is this?" He's like, I found it alongside of the road. So he was always bringing something back because he grew up in the Depression, and they never threw anything away, and I always appreciated old things from that. So it was really ingrained in my youth at a young age. I did grow up in Fenton, so I'm very familiar with this area. I grew up in a Sears Roebuck home that came off of the railroad, and my mother filled it up with lovely antiques. So again, just always have a love of antiques and starting off that way. I haven't spoke publicly in a while. I've been really busy for the last 8 years doing a multitude of projects. So being back up on stage feels pretty good. A little nerve-wracking, but it's good. So I want to go back to how I got started. So back in the day, how many of you ever sold on eBay? Somebody remember selling on eBay? So I wanted to make money to go on a European trip. So I decided that I was going to go and sell all of my stuff on eBay. So I would remember that back in the day we had to take the photos, take them, go get them developed, scan them in a scanner, do your whole thing. I ended up making over $2,000 on eBay when I first did it, and then decided to go to Europe. I am so sorry. I am nervous as all get out. And I spoke to 700, 1,000 people, 1,500. So I'm getting back in the seat of things, just showing you where I'm at with things. Thank you. Jeez Louise. It's been a hot minute. Thank you. That's why you guys are all amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So let me back up. So let me go back forward. So I went away to college, did the college thing. I started a personal training business when I was 16 years old, started managing a powerhouse gym. Then I decided to take the personal training further and go and do in-home personal training. I'm giving you my entrepreneurial history. And then I decided to move to Philadelphia and get away and sow my oats. And I worked for a gal who had several properties, and I did property management there, did personal training. I was away for about a year, just kind of lost and partying and doing my thing, making money, but probably getting into too much debt at the same time. And then my mother called, and she said, "I started a publishing company. I'd really love your help. I'd love you to come home and help me get started." And it was an amazing opportunity for me. The timing was right. I decided to help her out with all of the computer aspects, from starting the website to taking Photoshop classes, Illustrator classes, website building classes, all the things computer. So it was a fantastic opportunity for me to learn all about the aspects of that business, which really set the tone for going further into marketing. So I helped her with that, came back home to Michigan. It was great to be home. And then I started wanting to buy a house and settle down a little bit. So what happens when you buy a house? You've got to fill it up. So I started going to estate sales locally with my love of antiques. And I would go to these houses and go to these estate sales. And typically estate sales are a sad story, right? It's somebody passed away, they're liquidating all the items. It's sad, it's a sad story, but people are going and they're finding things and they're giving new love to those items. So I was finding that a lot of these companies that were conducting these sales, they were so grumpy. They weren't even saying hello to you when you walked in the door. It was just like a free-for-all type of situation. And I said, I know a lot about a lot of things, and a lot about antiques.
I think I should start an estate sale business. I was trying to fill this niche of just getting it started and making it a happy, fun, productive situation when somebody passes away and you want to liquidate their estate. We have a lot of stuff. We can accumulate a lot of stuff. So I started the business, me in my early 20s, not knowing exactly what I was doing, just starting off, building a website, and then getting it out there, putting the word out, really starting from scratch and talking to people. And it took off. I ended up networking with real estate companies and going talking to them during their big meetings and talking about our process and what we do. We, meaning me and whoever friend I could convince to come and help me work the estate sale and clean out a house. Dirty job, but somebody had to do it. And it just snowballed from there. I was getting calls nonstop. I couldn't keep up. I actually referred folks to other businesses because I couldn't keep up with the business, and it just rolled from there. I ended up leaving my mom's company and going full-time doing that while pursuing another entrepreneur business in Ferndale. I opened up studios for artists and musicians, filling another niche where musicians were needing space to practice, artists needing space, so I was juggling all of that. And living in Ferndale, having a great, single life living there. And fast forward, still doing tons of estate sales, I ran into a man, who's now my husband, who we met, and he had a lot of stuff that he needed sold. And that's not why we met, but he kind of gave me a challenge of, he had a limousine company that he was liquidating, he was closing it. That was one of his entrepreneurial efforts, another serial entrepreneur. And he said, I have one last limousine that I can't seem to sell. I've been trying for a long time. Do you want to try it? I'm like, I'll sell it for you. So I ended up selling within 3 weeks, something along those lines, to somebody in Russia. So we ended up freighting the car. It was and I ended up getting $10,000 more than he was originally trying to get. So that was kind of our story of how we connected going forward from there. Then I ended up, having the estate sale business. I got a random phone call and a random email from a girl named Ife with a beautiful British accent who said, "Hello, Kari. I understand you have an estate sale business and we're looking for a female. We produce American pickers and we're looking for someone like you. Tell me about your business." Meanwhile, Vince, my husband, and I had undergone a fire, lost our whole contents of our house. Talk about the transition of dealing with stuff and all the stuff that you accumulate over the years, and then you basically lose everything in one night. Everything, gone. Made me appreciate stuff even more. It might have helped with my hoarding tendencies that my staff may or may not say that I have. They're shaking their heads. So I get the call. They said, we want to come out, we want to film you. They asked me a lot of questions, but before we do that, can you go around, can you take some footage just on your phone, or it was still in the camera days, can you take some footage and just send it to us so we can see what you're all about? And that time we had a warehouse in Westland. I'm looking at my husband to give me the head shake of warehouse in Westland where we did a lot of buying out of estates, so we always had stuff. I still have stuff. This is a 40,000 square foot building and I still have a storage room back here. It's terrible. Working on liquidating that out. Regardless, we had a warehouse, and at the time we had a warehouse cat. They're a nice Persian cat that lived at the warehouse, and Vince followed me around for 20 minutes, filming me, talking about everything that we do and that we have, and they loved it. They ended up coming out and wanting to do a full-on shoot to do a promo video. So we did that. We found this estate in Detroit, down in the basement that was filled with crazy amounts of stuff, and they loved it, and they bit, and that's how I got the TV show. It was a wild ride. I'm very grateful. It was 12 to 16-hour days of this is where we need you to be, this is what you need to do. It was very, very intense. We filmed 3 seasons. We filmed a couple of specials. I've done a lot of public speaking, even though it doesn't seem that way, across the country. I'm just a little rusty. But it was an amazing journey. It was a lot of fun. It was taxing. both physically, spiritually, and mentally, but we made it through, and I think it made us stronger. I met a lot of amazing people. And then after television was done, and they changed, the production company ended up being sold. So the show, we were okay with that. They kept talking about wanting us to renew and do more. And Vince and I were just like, you know what, I think we're good. So we ended up buying a house. We were renting during this whole time. Because we had just gone through the fire, we were filling out our insurance, going through that drama. We were renting, and we decided to buy a house, a historic house in Plymouth. And we've coined this house the poop house. And there's a reason. And there's a reason for most things that happen to us in life, right? Later on down the road, we figure out why that happened to us. Bought this house, we said, oh, it's been all redone, it's fantastic, closed very quickly. We were still on the road traveling. I was still publicly speaking, I had a paint line, we were doing all the things. We were super busy. No toddler child at the time, so life was even crazier than it is now. And we get in this house, and things started happening in this house. From the lights flickering when I'd walk in rooms, to battery acid from the batteries and the thermostats dripping down the walls. Then we came back from a trip, and it was in the middle of the night. We had just pulled a big giant trailer. I think we were coming from Minnesota. Trailer was full because, of course, I sold, but then had to buy things while we were there, because that's just how that business goes. And all of a sudden, we heard this big whoosh, kaboom. A tree landed on the roof and blasted through the kitchen window into another window. We came down the stairs, and it was just this succession of these things happening in this house. And I was like, what in the world is going on with this house? All the while, we call it the poop house, the sewer was backing up in the basement. Multiple times. We're busy. We'll clean it up. Okay, yes, we'll clean it up. We'll get that fixed. Oh, come on out. Camera the sewer. Fix it. Oh, is it tree roots? What is it? What's going on? Over and over and over and over again. Finally, we do a little digging, and we find that it wasn't disclosed to us that there was a previous issue with this house. The neighbors, we made friends with the neighbors. They told us all about it. About the week of our closing, they had fans out. They changed the carpet, replaced the carpet to hide this whole flooding scenario with us. Those folks who were the neighbors there in Plymouth still come and visit us. We had a public event recently, and they came to visit us. So we made friends along the way, but it was a terrible experience with the poop house that just kept happening. So we're in the poop house, and we both have been into real estate. You know, I worked for the gal in Philadelphia, love looking at buildings, love looking at old houses. I'd been tracking some properties on Zillow. And a building in Holly I had saved pinged again and said, price change. And it was a beautiful building. It's the Vault building that's downtown. Vince had never been to Holly. And I said, honey, this building looks really interesting. Either the couple's getting divorced, they ran out of money, something's up. Beautiful building, all the mechanicals had all been updated. The finishes had almost been done. They were about 75% done. I said, there's a story. And he said, well, let's go look at it. So scheduled, made the appointment, and we actually met with the Village of Holly, village manager rather, and the DDA director at the time. And they walked us through because they owned the building. So they gave us a tour, and we thought they were setting us up. We thought it was, remember the movie Chevy Chase, Funny Farm? Like, cue the deer. We're walking through, and this little girl comes, we're getting ready to walk in the building. This little girl rides her bike right out in front of us. She's like, oh, hi, Jerry, hi, Andy. We walk across the street before we walk in the building to get a coffee. It's Battle Alley Coffee Company now, but before it was called Zany Janie's. And we walk in the front door, and there are these little old men and women sitting there with their little personalized cups, and they're like, good morning. And we look at each other, and we're like, is this real? And the downtown location faces Battle Alley, so it's very cute, quaint, adorable. I've coined it to be a Norman Rockwell painting mixed with a Hallmark movie. It's very much that way. We just love it. So we're falling in love, slowly, before we even look at the building. Walk the building, look at it. Now, mind you, we had a retail store in Northville. We had a warehouse in Westland. And he's like, Holly, Kari, are you sure, Holly? Walked the building, fell in love, and we ended up buying that building and living upstairs, got rid of the poop house, thinking that we were going to open a retail. We'll move our store to downtown Holly. We'll have retail downstairs, live upstairs. It's a dream, right? You just walk downstairs and to your retail location. And then there was warehousing in the back, so I could put my stuff in the back. So we had a big auction, made the deal, bought the building, not knowing, we needed a new chapter. The poop house exhausted us. We'd been on the road. We were still doing the on-the-road thing, but it wasn't quite as intense. But we bought that building. It's an 1860s building. I don't know how many of you have been downtown and know the vault location. Beautiful loft space. We lived up there. We were blessed. It was fantastic. 3 months after moving in, I find out I'm pregnant. And I was like, this is it. It's meant to be. This is where we're at. And then we had the retail store. And things kept happening in the retail store. I call it a sign from God or a sign from the universe or whatever your word is. People kept coming in and they're like, we're looking for a place to get married. Do you know of a place to get married? Do you know of any venues in the area? It just kept coming up. And I said, I think I'm supposed to listen to this message. I think we're supposed to open an event venue. And Vince is like, what? Are you sure? Our friends are like, you guys want to do events and weddings? You're crazy. Those people are crazy. And I was like, not necessarily. Vince and I were usually the folks that had parties. We're always the host of the big parties, but now we're the host of the big parties, which is fine. So we started renovation. We started renovating the building, and when we bought it, it was a Pilates studio, so it was purple and turquoise and mirrors, and it was pretty, jumbled up in there, and that's how we had it for our retail location. And then we were first going to only do the front of the building, and then I walked in the back warehouse and I said, hear me out. The barn wedding, we live in the Midwest. Barns are never going to go out of style. That look and feel and aesthetic is never going to go out of style. Let's make this the rustic warehouse. He looked at me again. Are you sure? Are you sure? People are going to buy this? Yes, absolutely. We're climate controlled. It's rustic. It's beautiful. And we ended up selling weddings while I still had pallet racking of my junk in the warehouse. Talk about the passion and loving what you do and having a vision. We really did. And we are in year 8 now of being in Holly. We have several properties, and it is just snowballed from there. We've done 16 property renovations. So we started with the vault. We ended up living there for the first couple of years. My years are off. COVID sucked my brain out. Everybody out there, it's like, what year is it? Where are we living? What's going on? It's 2023, May. Can you believe it? But we lived there. It was a beautiful way to host a business downstairs, living upstairs, being able to be in control and go downstairs and manage one location. Oh, you need something? Let me run downstairs. Oh, you need some more vodka? Let me go get that. Regardless, it was the perfect scenario to set that up. Oh, and now we need a chapel. So a chapel comes up. So Vince comes home one morning, because he's a scouter of properties. He was a builder for several years. I'll never forget, he came upstairs, and his eyes were super big. He said, Corey, can you come with me right now? We gotta go look at this property. The chapel came up. It's not on the market, or it's on the market, but it's not gonna be for long. Just come on. Literally half a mile from the building, we go over there, and it had mustard yellow carpet. It had 12 by 12 ceiling tiles on the roof of the chapel. And so I'm back in the corner. He's with the broker. I'm lifting up the carpet, the mustard carpet, and it's all beautiful wood. I lift it up. I go, make the deal. I'm like, this is a done deal. We need a chapel. We needed a ceremony location. So the business was building, and we wanted to have a one-stop shop where they could have a ceremony with us and have their wedding. We ended up buying that property and renovating it top to bottom. We ended up exposing beautiful tin ceiling on the ceiling without even knowing it was there. It's just been nonstop with projects and adding on to the collection. We bought this building in 2018. I didn't want to touch it yet. I was still building the business of the vault in one location. I wasn't ready to have a second location. We also bought the cafe next door during this whole time too. And we bought it while it was still a bakery. And when COVID happened, I said, and then I'll go back to this building, It was a bakery, and he was literally withering away, and we were watching me walk out of our door where we were living in his backyard. The cafe is right there. And I was watching him wither away. He was a one-man show, baking all of his breads. It was his passion. He was a wonderful baker, and he always told us he would give us first right of refusal. So he was like, hey, you want to buy my restaurant? I was like, Vince, do you want to buy a restaurant? And I was like, I kind of do. I think we can incorporate it. We can make this happen. We're going to bring in bread. We'll make it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Again, serial entrepreneur. Don't know how I'm going to make it work, but I have the passion and the drive and the energy. I'm going to make it work. So we bought that, kept the staff on, and just made it happen. But then COVID happened. So we shut us down, right? No groups, we were still a restaurant, but just didn't make sense. Shut it down, and we're sitting there, and I think, when did we shut down? March 16th here in Michigan is when we officially shut down. I think it was March 30th. I said, Vince, I'm gonna do a grocery business. I'm not sitting around. I can't sit around. I'm not a sitter. Look, I can't even stand still up on stage. So we're gonna do a grocery business. This is what we're gonna do. In 3 days, we had a website built. I had pre-ordering done. I was like, we already have produce companies we're dealing with. Let's just create fruit and veggie boxes and do pickup and delivery. And we delivered boxes of groceries for weeks, months. We did it. I don't know if we made any money on it, but just joking. But we delivered food because that's what we had to do. That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We rotate, we flex, we hustle, we decide which path to go down. The Holly Cafe is now finally doing great, and we're back to being a restaurant. And January is supposed to be the worst month in the food business. It was our best ever. So I'm very happy about that. I wasn't looking for applause, but thank you. Just saying, you put in the hard work. This is my husband saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get. We're nonstop. It's constant, and I think that's just how you're either wired with that. You love a good challenge. It's nonstop for us. I do love it. I don't think I'll ever retire, really. So you got job security, guys. So we bought this building in 2018. My husband's the pusher in the relationship. Meanwhile, while we're all doing this, they said we've done 16 property renovations while we've been here. 16. I probably lost count, and I don't think I'm even counting the pavilion that's happening right now. So it's been nonstop with projects, juggling the, which credit card to use for which project and what to do next. But we are building a pavilion on this building on the north end, which will be an all-in-glass pavilion, which is going to be a really nice addition. Because this building is 2 venues under 1 roof. So we bought this in 2018. He wanted to get started right away. 2017, 2018, again, COVID sucked my brain out in terms of time. And this is all plaster. This building is an all-plaster building. It takes a special science, a special contractor to work on it. You could have shot a horror movie in this building when we bought it. I was like, I can wrap my brain around it, but I can't wrap my brain around it. I want to build our business. I don't want to burn. I don't want to grow too quickly. We all want to grow our businesses, but I don't want to fire. I just want it to simmer, so that way I can really control it. So I hesitated, waited, finally gave him the green light. We showcased our first rehab, our first phase of rehab in February of 2020. So we had our bridal show, had our bridal gathering, February of 2020, and then COVID happened, and all of our contractors said, we can't stop. We're not going to stop. We're just getting going with this project. We can social distance. Let's keep going. So they worked all through COVID. They're like us. Those guys can't sit around. They want to keep going. So they kept working. We ended up just going in phases with this building and kind of adding on. And then when they finally allowed us to open back up, the shift and the pivot, right? We have a beautiful courtyard. We do a lot of outdoor ceremonies out there. So we're like looking, what week is it? What's the rule this week? Oh, all right, we're getting a tent. We're gonna get one of those fancy tents with the plastic enclosures, and we're gonna make this work. And I'm referencing that for your business. We have to constantly pivot to stay on top of whatever's happening. So you pivot, you hustle, you make it happen. So we're calling companies, finally get a tent, we make our weddings happen. We sweat hard with these couples, feeling so badly for them not being able to have their wedding that they've saved up these giant amount of money for, and the anticipation, and they got the dress, and people are like, I give up, I'm not getting married, I'm done. But we're finally over the hump with all of that. But we ended up getting a tent during that whole shutdown, and what are the numbers, and what's the square footage, and making it all work outside, and we made it work as much as we could, because that's what you do as an entrepreneur, is you make it work in whatever situation possible. Fast forward, then decided, oh, we're gonna do the other side of the building now. So now we've been working on that side, and then, as I mentioned before, the pavilion. So it's the constant of adding another layer, another project, constantly improving, just to keep up with the times and keep up with the business of weddings and events, which is always fun and chaotic. So that's where I'm at currently. She mentioned that I was working on a flip house. We bought an Airbnb. This town was an amazing opportunity for us in terms of property values and what you can get, a lot of bang for your buck. Not as many of those opportunities now, since the market is a little wonky, as you realtors know. We don't know what's happening right now in that market, but we don't have any hotels here. We were referring everybody to Fenton and Grand Blanc. And we bought another B&B, that was another purchase across the street from the cafe. We fixed that up, and then now we're finding with more venues, and more people are asking, where do we stay, where do we go? So we ended up buying a house across the street, and I was there until 11 p.m. last night, outfitting it, because we have our first booking this weekend, and sometimes I feel like I work better under pressure. I could have done it earlier. I was also waiting for contractors, but we were busy there last night, getting things set up and ready to go for that first booking opportunity this weekend. So it's nonstop, it's fun, and always an adventure for us. I told my husband after this next house that he's working on that this may be the last one for a little bit. So we need a little bit of breathing room. Meanwhile, he's got 3 construction crews going. I want to share with you some things that you can hopefully take away today and implement right now, today. We're living in, I mentioned it, I don't like to say this because it's a little bit negative, but it's the truth. We're living in the twilight zone right now, I feel like. Everything's crazy. So I say this to my team and my crew and my people. I stay in my positive bubble. I'm not putting my head in the sand, but I stay in my positive bubble, because if I don't, I will make myself crazy with everything that's happening. And it's so important. So I'm gonna give you 10 tips of what you can take away today and implement into your life, into your business. Number 1 is to be mindful of your feed. Be mindful of your feed. Mind, body, and spirit. Your feed. How many of you scroll through social media? You all do. Come on, don't lie. Whatever you're feeding into your brain, that's going to affect you. I heard somebody say yesterday, I watched the saddest story on Facebook yesterday. I'm like, let that go. It's not that I don't want to be not compassionate for somebody's story, but it affects you. Your subconscious mind is one of the most powerful things. So mind, body, spirit, be mindful of your feed. One of my favorite quotes that I live by is, what you think about the most is what you will become. What you think about the most is what you will become. Your mind is so, so powerful. Number 2, your health is your wealth. If you do not have your health, you have nothing. You have nothing. Invest in yourself. I know you feel guilty when you go get your nails done and your hair done and your massages. I'm coming to float, just so you know. I'm coming. Clarkston Pilates, I've been waiting for you to open. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm so excited about that. Invest in yourself. It's so important. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Help yourself before you help other people. So self-care, self-improvement, It all helps with that balance and that juggling act that we all have as women. And sorry, I know there's some men. We all juggle. Everybody juggles. I took off my Apple Watch. I went to a naturopathic doctor, and she's telling me that flips your polarity. I literally looked at this bracelet 10 times today. So that's one thing I'm doing for my self-improvement is I'm trying to disconnect a little bit but as much as I can with the constant vibrations, and I swear I get the pseudo vibration. Number 3, really important one, implement extreme customer service. Extreme customer service. We're working on it too. Everybody is working on improvement. Kindness changes everything. That's a sign I have in my kitchen because that's where I spend a lot of time in the morning, making my shake, doing dishes. Kindness changes everything. It becomes a snowball effect. Extreme customer service. People want to feel good about doing business with you, and they're gonna tell everybody about it. We had a wine dinner here last Saturday, and it was raining cats and dogs last Saturday night, right, at the end of the night. They were the last ones to leave, had a great time. It was a wine and cheese pairing. We were yucking it up, and she's like, oh, I gotta get out to the car. And I mean, it was literally like pouring, dumping. I was like, wait right here, I'll be right back. We have these great golf umbrellas that we give to our couples, and lots of promo stuff that we give away that you guys do as well. You would think that I gave them $1 million. They were so grateful that I gave them that golf umbrella to walk out with. They will remember that. They'll talk about that. Kindness changes everything. Extreme customer service. Go above, beyond. It all comes back to you. It really, truly does. One of the things that we want to work on, too, is handwritten notes. Don't you feel good when you get a handwritten note? It's just such a nice thing that somebody took the time to do that. Thanking a customer, even thanking them for their great customer service. Number 4, get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something that you've never done before. Something that's not at risk of your health, of course, but do something to get out of your comfort zone, to do something different, because you will be inspired to do something else. Get creative, create momentum. One of the things that I like to do when I'm not having a chaotic week like this week is to create your intention for the day. So important. So get out of your comfort zone. You can get out of your comfort zone with that as well. And I always say, take action. What are you waiting for? The biggest risk that you can take is not taking any risk at all. Do it. Go for it. One of the things I say all the time is, we're only on this planet for this amount of time, and it seems to be accelerating. Is that because we're getting older? But time just is flying, so don't wait. Take action. Do it now. Number 5 is probably the most important thing for business right now. How many of you are familiar with something called ChatGPT? Keep your hands up if you've used it. Do you have an account? Awesome. For those of you that do not, this will change your business. It's called ChatGPT. It's AI. G is in George, B is in boy, T is in Tom. Okay, well, you go to openai.com. Thank you for that. Openai.com. You're going to create an account. You're going to verify yourself. This is life-changing. Social media is where it's at, right? I know that there's also the gal who was up here talking about her paper and newspaper articles and advertising. I look at those. But social media, I do look at those, especially for contractors, services. But social media for your marketing and getting in front of folks for your business is one of the most important things, obviously, that we can do to get the word out. Chat, is it really GPT? My mom's saying yes, Kari. I always say GBT. Regardless, I know how to use it. That's the most important thing. You can create a marketing campaign in literally 60 seconds. But the most important thing to do, even for the folks who are already using it, is how you prompt it. So there are several bloggers out there. It's all about prompting, how you prompt the AI to give you the information. You feed it, but there are several bloggers out there. I use Twitter to follow as many of those bloggers as possible. I feel like Twitter's the best news source that's uncensored these days. But GPT followers there and prompters and bloggers. That's where you want to find their tools. You can subscribe for $5 and get their prompting advice. Life-changing in terms of your marketing campaign. It can give you hashtags. It can give you a marketing plan for Instagram. Anything and everything you want. I recently just helped a friend who needed a contract. And this is kind of stunning the attorney world. You can create a contract on ChatGPT. You should still have your attorney review the documentation, but it's a start. You're creating the paper. It's less hourly fees. Sorry for any attorneys in the audience. Sorry. You can create a travel itinerary, anything and everything you want to ask the AI. We'll get back to you. It's life-changing marketing. It's huge for marketing. I can't say enough about it. The other thing that I struggle with sometimes is that Facebook, or Meta, whatever we want to call it now, changes their audiences, and changes their ad and your boosting and all of those algorithms constantly. So what I used it for recently was to come up with the correct audience of who I'm going to boost my campaign with. So marketing, ChatGPT, it's a great one. So get on it, openai.com. Number 6, network, network, network. You're already doing it. You're here. You're creating relationships. You're establishing those relationships. Be a part of your community. I sit on a couple boards here in town. I'm on the DDA board. I'm on the Historic District Commission. I've met so many great people being here in a whole brand new community where I didn't know a lot of people. But it's just such a great thing to do is network, network, network. What is the 80% of the business? Your business is going to come from 20%. That's not necessarily in the wedding business, but for a lot of business it really is. People are looking for an experience these days. When they go for a service, they want to have the best experience possible. So networking and referring, it's huge. It's a huge aspect of our business. One of the things that we're working on is an affiliate referral program. How many of you guys do that in your business? Quite a few. It's huge. It doesn't have to be a monetary referral. It can be trading of your services, but that affiliate referral program, go on OpenAI and ask them for tips of how to do that for you. But that's huge, and it just makes such a big difference when you're getting a referral from somebody who's already had a wonderful experience with you. Number 7, give yourself grace. No one has it all figured out. No one. And if somebody presents it to themselves like they have it figured out, they don't. If you know them, introduce me. Because I haven't. We're all trying to figure something out, aren't we? Nobody's perfect. We're all working on something. Ourselves, our families, our relationships, our business. Give yourself grace. So important. I'm hard on myself, so I have to remind myself of that. Number 8, your people, your team. Take care of your team. Your people are everything. You are nothing in your business without your people. You can't do anything in your business without your people. They are your business. My father was always, you're only as strong as your weakest link. It's true. Surround yourself with the best people possible. I always say that everyone has their gifts that they bring to the table. Find those gifts, figure out how to cohesively work together. One of the things that we're talking about is we want to figure out what our love language is. So then we can work together in our office, feeding each other's love language. Surround yourself with the best people possible. It's so important. Everyone wants a positive work environment. Again, we're only on this planet for a small amount of time. Make it the best. Surround yourself with people that you enjoy being around. I have an incredible team. I am blessed beyond belief. We love each other. I love you. And I have 60 people, and everyone's important. Everyone's important. From the people who clean your toilets to your top salesperson. Everyone is important. They need to feel like they're a part of something. We all want to be a part of something. So it's just important. Give them the love, especially now. I feel like the world needs more love all the way around. Number 9. So I think it was Heather who did our rooting exercise. Sorry, Lisa. ChatGPT, Lisa, it's all good. So Lisa, that was a little woo-woo. I live my life by woo-woo. I have woo-woo for you. And it's woo-woo to get you through, basically, is what I like to say. Write down your plan. Write down your plan. And whether it's God or the universe or whomever you want to put that to, place your order with the universe, okay? And whether you're going to place it for the day, for 3 days, 5 days, a week, a month, a year, if you don't have a plan, you're just flying by the seat of your pants. I like to fly by the seat of my pants, but in the back of my mind and on a notebook, 20 different notebooks that I have, there's a plan. And while you're writing that plan, you need to put intention and emotion behind it. You need to, this is the most important part. You write it down like it's already happened or it's happening now, and feel the emotion as you're writing it. It is so important. Have a plan. You also need to know, as you're writing these plans, you're making these plans, what's your learning style? There's the 3 different learning styles, right? And we're usually a combination of all 3. It's the auditory, visual, or hands-on, which is there's another word for hands-on, but I'm just using that. I'm visual and hands-on. I have to write lists. I'm constantly making lists. I'm constantly checking off. I like the notes feature on the phone quite a bit, but it's just so important. And to understand your team and what their learning style is too, you can tell me something, but if I'm not like, text it to me, I'm gonna forget it. Write it down for me. You guys know that. And it's not only writing your goals and your plan as it's already happening. You can do this for your business, you can do this for your family, you can do this for relationships, all of it. And it's going to make you more mindful about all of the things. So that's my woo-woo for you. Lastly, number 10, have an attitude of gratitude. I know that's played so much, but love, gratitude, and compassion are the most important, most powerful things in the universe. If you have an attitude of gratitude, I promise your life's going to shift. Everything's going to shift. You can have gratitude for the crappiest thing that happened to you that day, even though you don't know why it happened. Later on down the line, you're going to go, oh, that's why it happened. Oh, that's why the poop house happened. The poop house happened because I was supposed to come to Holly. I was supposed to start a new chapter. We didn't know what was happening. Poop house. But have an attitude of gratitude. I am grateful for this. You can be grateful that a team member is leaving. Be grateful for them for starting a new opportunity. Be grateful that you may have a new person that comes into your life that changes your life. So, unfortunately, when unfortunate things happen and terrible things happen, we don't know. We can't be grateful for that. But having an overall attitude of gratitude is going to change so many things. And do it now. Have you been thinking about doing something for yourself? Do it now. Take action. Don't wait. Life is short. Eat dessert first. Do it. So many of my friends are so afraid to take this next step. Oh, that's too risky. I'm not sure. In business, pivot. Take action. Do it. You have nothing to lose. Obviously, you don't want to take too huge of risks, but to detriment your business. But take those risks. Get out of your comfort zone. Just go for it. So thank you for listening to me stutter in the beginning and bring it to you in the end. But I hope you take something. Thank you for listening to me. I'm Clarkston. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Thank you, Kari. Thank you, Kari. I can't even look at you without thinking of poop house. So
Thinking of what?
poop house. But those 10 things that we're able to put into use starting right now, what a great takeaway for today. Thank you so much. It is now with great honor that I present our 2023 Independence Women Leader of the Year Award. Kari's going to assist me with the presentation of this year's award. The Independence Women Leader of the Year recognizes a woman who has shaped the success of her business and demonstrated leadership, professional achievement, and contribution not only to her workplace, but also her community. The essence of this award is to discover and reward exceptional women for their leadership, mentoring skills, and/or ideas that stand out from their colleagues. The areas that our nominees were selected upon are business accomplishments, leadership, and community involvement. This year, we had 11 outstanding women leaders nominated. In alphabetical order, they are Tanya Carson from Clarkston Living, Whitney Finley Shanae Beyond Juicery and Eatery Clarkston and Finley Investments, Katie Bowman Coleman of Bowman Auto Group, Rhonda Marshall of Vaughn Chiropractic, Carrie Welch Milner, the Milner Agency Farm Bureau Insurance, Chelsea O'Brien, Clarkston Family Farm, Lee Peterson, Northern Capital Insurance Agency Services, LLC, Beatrice Rivard, 360 Financial Strategies, Dr. Jill Schnurr, Village Eye Care, Jessica Spencer, Spencer Real Estate, and Kristen Stoll, the Town Planner Community Calendar. Ladies, if you would please stand and be recognized for your work within the Clarkston community. And now for our winner. In her nomination for this award, our winner was described as deserving, excels, accountable while continuously working to raise the standards. She volunteers regularly in various ways. I just made eye contact and they know who they are. For a number of business associations and service organizations. Is in the process of becoming a certified women-owned business. It is my honor to announce the winner of the 2023 Independence Woman of the Year Award, Whitney Finley Shanae. Whitney co-owns Beyond Juicery and Eatery Clarkston and Finley Investments. She's the treasurer of the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce. Oh, and she sits on a number of our committees as well. She's active in numerous business associations and service organizations, and she just had a baby in February. She said that's probably her greatest achievement. Yeah. I'm not quite sure where this woman finds the time and energy for everything, but congratulations, Whitney.
Thank you for that. A sincere thank you to everyone here who nominated me, voted for me. It's always a struggle. Things that Kari shared today, I think we can all relate, and somehow you pull it off. So thank you very much. Thank you.
What an exceptional event. Thank you again, Kari, and congratulations again, Whitney. So we do again thank you for being here at Women in Business. We hope to see you on Friday, May 19th for our food truck rally. Feel free to network and check out the vendor areas again. We appreciate you joining us today. And please mark your calendar for next year's event on May 1st, 2024. Have a great day.